Hello, beautiful angels. It is Olivia Grace, and I am back with another video for you guys. And I actually started to record this in my group, but my connection was bad, so it kept cutting me off. And I was like, I just can't with that because I don't have time for that today. So, yes, I love you guys. Just quick things. I am taking a break from my like social media, from my group and everything like that, but I will still be posting on YouTube. So God has really been leading me to go within and to kind of take a break from the outside stimuli in the form of social media posts, teachers, people, all these things. So I'm going to be doing that for at least the month of November. But you guys are definitely still welcome to reach out to me either on my email. You can schedule a one-on-one coaching session with me. I'm still doing those donation based so that you can basically just give what you feel you want to and have a session with me. So I've had a few sessions already. They've gone wonderfully, extremely wonderful. So if you guys are interested, those links will be in the description as well. So today we are getting into manifesting physical changes. And this is a question from Thunder under my Manifest the Impossible, the Brazen Impudence video that I did. Her question was basically like, well, I'm going to read you guys her comment so that I can get everything that she said, because she hit on a lot of great points. And this is going to be a great topic of discussion. So let me just get into that. So she says, how about my body builds muscle on its own and I can eat whatever I want and however much I want, or my body changes overnight? These are the types of assumptions I have always seen to never be seen as possible. A lot of people preach everything is possible, but stuff like this is not. What is your opinion on this? Maybe this stuff is my doubts pushed out. Oops. LOL. But at times when people have imagined their ideal body type, they are suddenly magically inspired to eat what we have been taught to believe is healthy and magically moved to work out. And that, in my opinion, isn't manifesting. Abdullah would have said, this is a load of rubbish and quibbles. So any advice on how to get my ideal body without all of that? She also said, and I would love to hear more about this. Can you elaborate on why maybe it isn't possible for our bodies to just change on their own, just overnight? That would really clear up a lot of things that are not possible, since no one has done that, unfortunately. I can't assume something that just isn't possible. That means only some things are possible, isn't it? My mind constantly fights that contradicting belief if I even begin to believe it can be achieved. Okay. All right, so this is great, okay? So first of all, what I'm going to say, you guys, is Thunder, I'm going to reiterate what I said. And I'm going to say again that yes, everything is possible, okay? Because it doesn't matter what people have done. What people have done is not a threshold for what is possible, okay? That is just what people have done, number one. Number two, I know that there are people that have done this, that have changed their body without exercise and diet. And I know that people have changed their bodies overnight as well. I don't know if you're into the subliminal community, but if you aren't, I would suggest that you look into subliminals about your ideal body overnight. There's all kind of stuff like that. Now, will you actually, it's possible, right? But is it likely? What is the percentage of that actually happening, right? So here's the thing to consider, you guys, is that first of all, we have a collective consciousness, okay? So that is beliefs that are widely accepted by people in whatever community that you're in. So for instance, when you learned about manifesting, you kind of broke through like a collective conscious idea, which is that we cannot affect our surroundings with our mind. That is a widely accepted idea. If you try to tell people that are not into manifesting and have not experienced manifesting, they would tell you that that's impossible. They would tell you that all this stuff that we're talking about is impossible. And guess what? Here's something to input right there, is that guess what? It is impossible for them. It's impossible for them because they've accepted their limitation. Okay. So here's the thing I want you to know, Thunder. Anytime you come up against something that you want, and because you haven't seen it, or because it's so outrageous, or because whatever, you decide that you can't do it, you are making it impossible for yourself. Nothing is inherently impossible. What is impossible to God? With man, sure, it's impossible. With God, anything is possible. And that's just what it is. When you think about it from the fact that we are creating reality, we are creating reality with our mind. So anything can be possible. If we can imagine that, it can happen. I've talked about this briefly in a couple of other videos. Like manifesting weight loss and not changing my diet and not changing my exercise. Now, for me, I have done this on 2 occasions in the past where my body went down to my exact weight. And I'm not going to get too much into this about myself because I've made videos on this before. But I had struggled with my weight since I was a kid, and, but once I got into manifesting, there were 2 occasions where I was eating anything I want, anything that I want. I had stopped dieting. I had been dieting my whole life, and I had stopped dieting. I had stopped working out. And both of those times, my body was one of the slimmest that it's ever been. And one of those times too, the more recent of those times, I was eating complete crap. I wasn't cooking anything. So all I was eating was fast food and chips. I was eating multiple desserts every single day, literally donuts, brownies, candy. That was literally my regular diet. And I was one of the slimmest sizes that I've ever been. And it would be different if I was a person who just happened to have a metabolism like that, I've always been able to, but that wasn't the case. It was literally I had spent so much time dieting and exercising, and I wasn't even really seeing many results. But at this point in my life, when I was eating everything that I wanted, I was not doing any exercise. No, you know what? I think every blue moon, I would do some sit-ups or something like that. And I'm not even kidding you. I was not going to the gym. I was not going on runs. I was not doing any of that. And my body was one of the slimmest that it's ever been. It was actually kind of crazy. Now, what I will say for those 2 times though, is that I was not consciously trying to do it. I find that when I consciously try and affect my body, it's much harder for me, just being, open and real. That's something that I have quibbles about, because I have so many negative limiting beliefs around my body and my weight and things like that I'm working through. But it is possible. I firsthand have done it myself. So it is possible to do it without diet and exercise. Now, doing something overnight, that's what I was saying in my live when I got cut off. Now, I like to think of this life that we're in as a dream, right? God is dreaming us. Now, when you are in a dream, and I don't know if you lucid dream or if any of you guys lucid dream, but sometimes there's that moment when you're noticing that your dream is weird. You're noticing wait a minute, this isn't real life. This is not right, and your brain starts to question what you're seeing. Maybe you see, something that'll happen for me. I'll be at one job in my dream, but the coworkers will be from another job. And I'll be wait a minute, who is that? Why are they here? But your dream is trying to lull you back to sleep. Your dream is trying to keep you in the dream. So it'll make up something. Your dream brain will make up something oh yeah, that's just because, they transferred here. Remember they transferred here, whatever. It does that, right? It's keeping you in the dream. So in this dream, it's the same thing. The illusion that is, reality is trying to keep us asleep. So if you were to wake up tomorrow, 50, 30, 20, however many pounds lighter, you would be freaked out. And maybe you wouldn't, but I would be people would be freaked out. You would be freaked out. You know what I mean? So there are certain things that just, it happens gradually to not shock us. You know what I mean? Not shock us, especially when it comes to our physical body. Now, the thing is, though, it is possible, but it's not likely. Okay. Now, but likely does not mean that you should not assume it. And this is why I say assume it anyway, you guys. This is what I'm saying. That was the point of the brazen impudence video. Assume it anyway, because that's the only way for you to test what is possible. Okay. And we know, if we really know Neville and we really know law of assumption, we know that anything is possible. Okay. Yes, you could possibly, it's possible for you to fly. It's possible for you to levitate. It's possible for you to send messages telepathically. Okay. These are things, telepathy, that's something that Neville was doing. That's something that people would say is impossible. Okay. And everything is impossible until someone does it. Just like them, like running the marathon, they thought if you ran a mile under a certain time, your heart would explode because somebody had set the record and that record had never been beaten. But then somebody beat his record and his heart didn't explode. And then, of course, all these other people were able to continue to beat that record. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I say collective consciousness. We have ideas in collective consciousness. And I'll even say, because I feel like in the spirituality community, we're a little bit, the spirituality community has a whole different view of what is possible than regular people, muggles, as we could call them. But even within the spiritual community, and this is what God has been telling me from the start, the spiritual community has a lot of limitation in it as well, because we are people. We're all just people still. We're all just, in these human bodies doing the best that we can. Now, health and exercise is very much valued. It's honestly maybe more valued in the spiritual community than it is in the regular community. Okay. So that consciousness of believing that in order for your body to be well, you have to be well to your body. That is a very widely accepted belief. All right. So what Abraham Hicks calls the path of least resistance, right? What is the easiest way for you to get your desire? So the people that are manifesting their ideal body and then their appetite changes and their exercise habits change, that is a manifestation. First of all, Thunder, everything is a manifestation. Okay. Even being a person who, struggles with their weight and hates diets and exercise, that's a state. That's still a manifestation. That's an identity, right? So them switching from that identity to the identity of someone who works out and eats healthy, that is a manifestation. And that is their bridge of events, basically. You can't say that because someone's bridge of events wasn't what you expect, that's not manifesting. It's still manifesting. It's just a different bridge of events. Now, it's not to say that you have to subscribe to that, because as I've said, you don't have to. You don't have to diet and exercise. And as I said, in the subliminal community, you'll see plenty of girls who are not dieting or not exercising or not doing anything but losing weight with these subliminals just by impressing. They're just basically going straight to their subconscious mind. Okay. What else did I want to say? Yes, that this stuff is your doubts pushed out. It absolutely is, Thunder, because I was the same way. I couldn't find, when I first started wanting to do this, I couldn't find people that had done it the way that I wanted to do it. Cause I'm like you, I'm like, there is a way to do this without diet and exercise, especially me having experienced it before. So trying to recreate that consciously. Right. But at first I was coming up against a lot of people that, like you said, was like, oh, well, I magically did this and, oh, I just decided to be a vegan and, oh, well, I just started to run 5 miles a day. And it's like, I'm good on all that, and for me, exercise for me is something that I want to do because I just want my body to, I want my body to be limber. I want to be able to do things. I want to be in shape. I want to be able to climb mountains, and I don't want to be all rickety and old, and you know what I mean? And I know even that's assumption. You can just assume that. But for me, exercise is something that's nice. It's just a cool thing. Now, but for diet, honestly, like we're here to have a human experience. So I don't want to be eating like 2% of the foods that's available in the human experience, because I'm trying to keep my body perfect in a body that's temporary anyways. But anyways, that's just how I feel about it. So let's see. Okay, right. So basically, why, not that you cannot, but why it is not likely that you will manifest overnight a completely different, drastically different body is just because that's just how our brains are wired. That's just like, even in like the law of attraction community, which a lot of us started in, they didn't think you could affect your body at all. They thought, oh yeah, you want to manifest a different body? Well, that was the way, was to manifest diet, manifest exercise. But the law of assumption is assume it. This is the thing, Thunder. You're never going to know. Even if I came on here and was like, girl, that's just crazy. That's just no way, blah, blah, blah. So you're going to take my word over it? You know what I mean? You guys stop taking people's word. They don't know. All people know is what their experience is, right? If I hadn't experienced it myself, or if I hadn't, if I was someone who believed in limitation, I probably would tell you, no, it's not possible or whatever. But that doesn't mean that it's not possible. That just means that I haven't seen it done. That just means that I haven't been able to do it. You know what I mean? So Thunder, I'm really, really encouraging you, especially when you get these desires, you guys, because these desires, this question, which is why I came and made this video so quick, because this is a gateway to expansion, you guys. Expand beyond what's possible. Here's what we usually do, right? Even in the law of assumption community, which is a shame, we come up to something, that's impossible. Oh, well, that can never happen. Oh, well, I guess I'll just, whatever, go away. No, come up to the impossible and assume it anyway. You know what? My body is building muscle overnight. You know what? My body is changing overnight. You know what? Like, I'm losing weight so quick, and it's so crazy because I'm not even dieting or exercising. I'm actually eating worse, and I'm still feeling and looking better and completely healthy. Assume it anyway, Thunder. Really, really. And I would encourage you after this video to watch the brazen impudence video again, because I think I think after this video, it'll be a more better understanding of what I was saying in that video that will help you come up against what is impossible. Every freaking thing in this life has been impossible. Me talking in this phone has been impossible at one point. If you were to go back to the 1400s and tell somebody that you were doing this, they would be like, you're a witch, or you're crazy, or whatever. Even as far back as not as far back as the 70s, I was listening to a near-death experience, and someone was talking about like astral projecting, and they were like saying this person is insane. They were like, yeah, she's insane. She's going to the psychiatric ward because she thinks she can leave her body. I mean, we know that you can leave your body, right? We know that astral projection is real, but to a limited mind, the only things that's real is the things that they can prove. So do not have a limited mind, you guys. Come up against it and assume it anyway. As for what you should do, like I just said, assume it, Thunder. I would really encourage you to visit some of the subliminal communities. And another thing that I would suggest is to revise that you've always had the body that you want. Revision, you guys, is so slept on. And I'm going to end this video. I'm not going to keep droning on, but revision is so slept on, y'all. And that's all I'm going to say. But Thunder, I'm going to ask you or encourage you to revise that you've always had your perfect body, and that, and see what happens from that, because that's all that we can do, you guys. All that we can do is test this. All we can do is test it and see what happens in our own lives. All right. So I hope that answers your question. I hope that encourages you. And one more thing, you guys, take a break from what people are saying. And I know that's why God is leading me away from social media and so much interaction with others, because of that collective conscious. When you're in the collective, you take on their beliefs. Everything that you're telling me in your comment is about, well, these people and that people and those people and that people. What about you? Because God is awakening you, and God is putting this desire on your heart for a reason. So see it through. Got to see it through, my boy. But anyways, I love you guys so much. I'm intending that you guys, that this helps you, that you guys manifest some miraculous things overnight. And I love you.